Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you are all keeping well. Today, I am pleased to announce our upcoming online certificate program on multi-criteria decision-making techniques and applications, which will be starting from August 24, 2020, and it will be conducted till September 4, 2020. You see, during last couple of months, amidst this current scenario, Calcutta Business School has taken up few initiatives in terms of organizing webinars and online certificate short courses, keeping in consideration the fact that during this pandemic, one has to sharpen their skills or abilities to cope up the challenges which are supposed to come in their way in the coming ages to come, or we can say it as a new normal. Now, today, the topic which I am going to highlight, or the course we are about to launch, is a kind of skill development course or knowledge development course which will help one to take effective decisions based on the facts and information available. Now, when we are saying that this decision making is nothing called a new phenomena, and the need of decision making or making a kind of effective or prudent decision is a very important aspect of one's professional ability, as well as it is applicable to one's daily life too. Now the question is, if how to take effective decision on time based on the information available. Now sometimes people take conscious decision that is based on facts and figures. Sometimes people take unconscious decision which is mostly based on their hunch, based on their experience, based on their opinions, or based on their preferences, all these things. Now, if you notice the kind of development that has taken place in the domain of information and communication technology over the last couple of decades, it is enormous. I mean, the way the software and the hardware are developed, the speed at which this kind of development is taking place is unexplicable development has taken place over a couple of decades. Now, what it gives is that it gives us an access to a gigantic amount of data. Everywhere we are accessible to data, everywhere we are monitored, everywhere we can see that there is an enormous number of data available. But having said so, one can say that we are data rich but information poor. That means having so much of data is useless unless you draw a meaningful, actionable insight out of that. Now, there people have been trying to develop models, algorithms to capture those data, to utilize those data for taking up prudent decisions on time. Now, the question is, what does this COVID-19 has relevance to this? This COVID-19 has added an additional complexity in our day-to-day operation, in the business operations that is going up and that is getting even more complex as the day progresses. We really never know that what would be the nature of complexity or the dimension of complexity that would be prevailing over the world in the next new normal. And we are not also sure that this kind of disruption will not happen in future. This might happen in different form again. So the question is, the ability to take on-time decision is the first importance. But beside that, one has to be very flexible, and due to this kind of disruption or due to this kind of compelling situation, this decision-making ability or this investment in decision would be also less. So in other words, we can say that you must be fast, you must be flexible, and you must be economic in taking prudent decisions on time to take certain actions to move forward. Now, if you say that this is the things that being if it is said, that means for that you require a kind of intuition which comes from your domain knowledge, and you also require insight which comes from your analytical ability. Now, in this context, this program has its relevance. So this program or certificate course, which we call as multi-criteria decision-making techniques and models, this would enable the participant to, take decisions using basic knowledge, using the basic analytical capability based on the available data very quickly and very easily. You can say this multi-criteria modeling is a branch of operation research which says that you have a set of alternatives or set of alternative course of actions on your hand, but you have at the same time you have some sort of conflicting objectives or conflicting or in the distinct criteria, and now you want to come up with the best possible solution which satisfies the requirement of all such criteria. So hence the problem is called multi-criteria decision-making problem. This multi-criteria decision-making problem has enormous applications. In a single word, I can say these techniques are applicable to a shopkeeper, to a strategy maker. A journey from a shopkeeper to a strategy maker, at all levels, this multi-criteria modeling has its own importance. Now, in order to just sensitize the importance of multi-criteria decision-making models, I will just take few examples to explain that where it can be applied. For example, first let me take the example of our day-to-day life. For example, one is willing to purchase one mobile phone. Now, someone may be very fascinated about, say, camera quality. Someone might be interested in the battery strength. Someone might be interested to purchase the mobile at an affordable cost. Someone may be very much fond of aesthetics part. Someone may follow the rating given by the appropriate authority. Now, question is, if you ask these people that which mobile should I purchase? So many of them will give views from their perspective, which gives rise to a kind of scenario where you like to satisfy all your objective, but alone, based on single objective, you cannot take a decision to purchase a mobile. So you have to satisfy all such criteria, and you have to select a best possible mobile phone as per your choice within the capacity limitations that you have. So how do you select a mobile phone in that sense? Unless you have a fascination towards a particular brand, if you want to examine the available models to you with respect to all such criteria, how do you decide upon a particular mobile phone to purchase? The second thing, another example, take an example. Suppose one entrepreneur wants to start a business. Now, in order to start a business, there is a study called feasibility study is conducted beforehand. Now, one of the objectives of conducting such feasibility study is to understand where lies your risk factors. Now, suppose you get many risk factors and there are many rewarding factors as well. Now, suppose you have, say, a number of choices, a number of decisions available, a number of courses of action available to you. Now, how can you be sure, or how can you take one such decision which would be proven to be a prudent decision as far as your startup is concerned? In other words, in given the reward factors based on the risk, you want to select a best course of action for your new startup. How do you come up with that solution? So this is another scenario. The third scenario, suppose you want to select a particular stock to invest your money. Now, one may say that return would be an obvious criteria. Someone may say that, no, I can't just have emphasis on return itself because there is a risk factor as well. If the stock is giving me varying return, or if there is a random variation in the return part, then it might be perfectly possible that when I purchase the stock, afterwards it would go beyond below, it would show downtrend or it would fluctuate, and I would at some point in time I may require to sell the product, and if such variations are there, then I would be in a loss making of conditions. Of course, there are many factors. Then some people say that if you want to purchase the stock, you also see, not only you see the return, not only you see the risk, you can also see the background of that company, the background, the fundamental performance of that company. Now here comes another dilemma. Which way I can select the stock? What are the factors should I give priority? What are the areas should I should I give due considerations to arrive at my decision? Now another example, suppose you want to go to a certain place for spending quality time with your family. Now in other words, you plan for a vacation. Now which place you want to go? So suppose you have 4 or 5 places which are of your choice. Now which place ultimately you have to you would select, it depends on several considerations. These considerations are called different criteria. Now how do you take up the decision? How do you make up the mind? Unless you really have some family pressure or some real personal fascinations. So that means if you want to judge the situation objectively, then you have to collect the informations available about those places, and you have to apply the same simple kind of modeling to compare all sort of alternative options available to you, and finally you come up with a choice where you should go. And this these things are quite interesting. Suppose one organization wants to compare its products. Suppose one organization is having a portfolio of say 7 to 8 products. Now the organization wants to compare which product is performing well. So then comes several factors. Which product is giving you more revenue? Which product is attracting new customers at a higher speed? Which product is having accepted by the customer with its feature? Which product is rated well? Which product is generating the indirect sales of another product, which we call as an association of other products of the company. This product is generating sales for the other product as well. So there are many such criteria, many such factors comes into picture. Now, as a company, as a decision maker, suppose you want to take up a call that these are the products which are performing well, these are the products which are performing less well, and accordingly you take some futuristic actions or decisions then to decide upon the product. So there are numerous such examples, as I said, from applicable for shopkeepers to the entrepreneurs to the strategic decision makers. There are numerous such areas where often you are confronted with some objectives which are otherwise okay standalone, but if you compare the objectives, if you take into account the effect of all such objectives or criteria to evaluate what would be the best possible options for you among the available ones, or what could be the best possible course of action for you depending upon this criteria, then comes a kind of decision making dilemma. This multi-criteria decision making models helps you to find out the best possible action, the best possible alternative, while satisfying the requirement or the nature of all criteria involved in it. In other words, trading off the effect of the criteria, what best you can achieve, your multi-criteria decision making models allow you to take such call. So with that respect, this program has been designed. This program will be starting, as I said, from August 24, 2020, and it would be a 10 days program. Every day there would be 2 hours. That means 10 into 2, that is 20 hours. This course would be of duration 20 hours, and this course would be conducted online and in the evening from 6:30 to 8:30. This course will be operated every day, Monday to Friday. That is starting from August 24, Monday to Friday, 5 days into 2, that is 10 hours, and the next week there is 10 hours. And I am happy to share that some eminent practitioners and these developers and researchers of this stated field, they have agreed to take the classes on these techniques, simple techniques, to explain the methodology of this technique and explain the usefulness of the technique and how you apply. Tomorrow onwards, this program will be launched in the Calcutta Business School web page and in the Facebook page as well. So I urge that you should go through those pages to see more details, and in any way I will be again conducting a Facebook live session as we get closer to the program to tell you the features of the program and the modality and the kind of outcomes that you may expect after attending this program. For the time being, thank you very much for listening to me, and I expect participation from your end to make this program successful. Stay tuned and stay safe, stay well. Thank you so much.